going on, everybody? Hope everybody's doing well tonight. Got Rocko in the house with us. Let's get this music off here.
That's right. That's
How you
right.
doing tonight, man?
I'm doing as well as I'm going to be doing, you know. I'm not in a jail cell, so that's a plus. But, you know, I don't know who's listening right now, but whoever catches this stream later on, I was on Jason Marshall's show last night, and I was discussing targeting. And I was also discussing with my documentarian about how it goes down to even the dog catchers, okay, where people will be placed in. I mean, I have a whole building now where I live in my complex where it was quiet, calm, cool, and collected, to where now I have to have motion detectors on my phone in front of my door. You know, I have to watch myself. I have to watch myself, and also worry about my children at the same time.
You want to explain that a little bit? Because I mean, me and you kind of talked about it a little bit, but they don't understand like the dog catcher thing and.
Oh, well, okay. Well, no good deed goes unpunished. I will tell you that right now, it seems. Especially when you're a targeted individual. Okay? It's one easy way to get me in the courthouse, fine me, put me in jail for 60 days, and have no proof whatsoever. But the guy who I gave the dog to out of the kindness of my heart, because he's an elderly man, but he's a scam artist, meth head, a real meth head, what real meth heads do, straightforward. They can't handle their business. Instead of coming up to my door and knocking and saying, you know what, I can't have the dog, you know, what do you want to do? Instead of saying, oh, you know what, I'm going to take it to the pound, and then I'm going to tell them it was yours and you abandoned it. So now I'm looking at a citation. I'm looking at court dates. I'm looking at possible jail time. So for nothing, for not a damn thing.
Well,
Is what I'm trying to say, man.
And I can confirm a little bit. You told me about this a week ago that you were upset that you had to get rid of
I have the dude on video. I sent it to you.
Yeah.
He walked right past my door, the dog catcher. So he didn't even have the right apartment. So how does he know it's me? That's the whole thing, you know what I'm saying? And how did you have my cell phone number? That's what I'd really like to know. How'd you have my cell phone number? It's quite funny that I check my cameras and I see police standing in front of my door. It could be any time of the day or night, and I see them standing there at my door, and I can hear every fucking word they say. Every word they say, because I have voice on my, as soon as they say somebody walks by right now, right, I'll get a ring. And I could click on that ring while we're in this live, and you'd hear everything going on in my hallway because there's a speaker on my camera.
Oh, yeah, you showed me that once you got that motion detector put in.
Oh, everything's hooked up, buddy.
Yeah.
Look, everything's hooked up.
Oh, yeah. And when you were on with Jason, that thing went off like 6 times in a row.
Yeah.
What the hell's going on over here?
And I got it pointed at a good direction where it picks up anything. So in that video you saw, that guy was wearing a bulletproof vest, but on the back of that was white lettering. I wonder who the hell was up here. And the funny thing is people thought that was me. And I had to repeat, no, that was not me. That was me in my house checking my camera from clips that I didn't catch because I was in the other room. and my phone was on the charger. But yeah, that guy comes walking past my door. So only thing that I can think of, that's the dog catcher.
I mean, he had long hair, but I don't think he looked like you.
No,
I mean, that's about it. That's about all I saw in the picture that was similar. I think he had a lighter color hair too. It was like a light brown. And you got.
He was wearing a uniform, number one, and he was wearing a bulletproof vest.
Yeah, I've never seen you wear a bulletproof vest. That's for damn sure. At least not that I know of.
Well, I might have to start. I just might have to start, buddy, because when I'm done doing this documentary, there's going to be a lot of. I'm going to tell the truth, man. I'm not going to do Hollywood's way of escaping the truth. No, I'm going to lay it out the way I remember. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I'm not gonna, really get communicative with the SSP community as much anymore. I feel since I've walked away from that community, I've had a lot more joy. There might be one or two people in there that I do associate with because they believe the same thing that I believe, But now I do have friends that, yes, some of those experiences that you might have thought were crazy, some of the listeners that were coming out of my mouth, I do have friends that just choose not to get in Facebook, not to get on the internet, not to do nothing with the internet other than use a phone. And if they have a Facebook, they don't talk to people.
Rocko, do you
know? Not looking for notoriety for pain and suffering. That's all I'm saying.
Do you know Zen Ray Q?
I don't. No, I don't. Why? What
they were just saying he's telling the truth. I'm a witness. I'm an ear witness. Rocko's mom is also can confirm, and Rocko's neighbor is an eyewitness.
Oh, yeah.
That you're telling the truth. They were
just, man. Yeah. I have no reason to lie about any of this.
What's going on, Canadian? What's going on, Emily? And thank you for being here, Zen Ray.
I had to explain to Jake. I said, Jake, the type of people that I can bring, like Just Trey. I got another guy that I'm going to be doing a podcast with once a week as well. I might bring him on there, you know what I mean? Just because Trey has I was on a live with him today, and you got to be very careful how you approach certain questions and stuff. You know what I mean? Because he will straight up tell you how he feels.
Yeah.
And at the same time, he will say, I'm not trying to be rude, but this is what, you know what I mean? I don't, if he doesn't know something, he's not going to get into it.
Yeah, he wants to speak on something he doesn't know.
That's the topic, I would tell Jake if Jake wanted to continue. And no, he doesn't. He doesn't want to get involved with that topic. Gotcha. What I want to hear from Just Trey is what gave him the drive to get as far as he did, besides Ryan Upchurch, because he even admits it. He's like, all these people are hitting me up, want me to do, sign with Holler Boy and do this and do that. He's like, if that happens, it happens. But if it don't, I'm not going to stop doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Ryan wrote him, you know what I mean? And that's what kind of spun that pattern. And then Creek Squad jumped onto his, listen to his music and whatnot. But he's not just that type of rapper. He will jump on with anyone that he said that can hold their own.
Yeah,
exactly what he said.
Well, me and you talked about this gosh, over a year ago, I was telling you about this rapper named Token, and he was 16 when I first started following him, and everybody's like, "Oh, this guy's an amazing rapper," and he's like, "No, I'm just doing this for me. Like, I'm just good at doing this." And then Eminem tried to sign him, and he turned down Eminem because he said he wanted to work on himself more and get better at his own craft. I'm like, that's a
Well,
good.
you know what? I respect that. I respect that.
That's what Trey sounds like.
That's much respect. Because you know what? See, what I'm learning with myself is once I get in a booth and, you know, I got a guy close by that might have some equipment and whatnot to help me, you know, set up some kind of sound in one of my rooms. Once I get in there with some stereo headphones and, you know, with freestyling and put a beat on, you know what I mean? Puff on a nice J, get a little nice, you know, feel the beat out a little bit and just start rapping and recording, you know what I mean? Right to the computer. And you know, taking samples of that and maybe saying, hey, yo, Just Trey, check this out. You know what I mean? Tell me what you think. What do I need to do with it? You know, pass it around. Certain things, not everything. You know what I mean? You don't ever give away your goods. That's you know, unless everything is straight where they can't mess with the copyright and they can't, you know what I mean, do stuff with your video.
Oh yeah, I mean, you don't have to give away everything, but you come to the table with something polished, and then they go, oh, okay, if this kid can polish up one good song or one good verse, then we know he can put together more. Like they don't.
That's my goal. That's one of my you know, near future goals.
That was always my thing.
Yeah,
that was always my thing. If I ever ran into Tech Nine at a concert, if I ever ran into Token at a concert, or any of these rappers that I really like, it was always my goal to spit one of their fastest verses faster than them, where I enunciated the whole time. And I'm like, that would be something that would kind of catch them off guard. They'd be like, holy shit, look at this guy. But I don't consider myself a freestyle artist by any means. I can't.
Now, what were they confirming, Jacob? What was that gentleman confirming and the other person about my eyewitness and stuff?
They were saying that they were an eyewitness about the dog situation, and that you were telling the truth. And then they were talking about your neighbor and your mom, saying that they're also witnesses.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just confirming your mom and confirming your neighbor's story and confirming yours. And then just dropped a new one. He said they always hit the hardest right before you're about to shine your brightest, Rocko.
Yep, and I'm going to keep pushing right through them. Because you know what? Integrity, you know, morals, values go a long way in the courtroom.
Yeah.
And you know what? I hate to say it, but, you know, Donnie, you know, if you were a little bit nicer, maybe you would have a little bit more of an easier time there, buddy. You know, there's ways to be respectful, you know, they're remorseful, whatever, you know. Look, I'm sorry, but, you know, play the game, you know what I mean? Play them like they play you.
No, they want you to apologize for something, like you did something wrong.
Well, no, I wouldn't admit to it, but I'd say I'm sorry that you think this, you know what I mean? And
yeah, and I'm sorry for the situation that the dog's in, but I had nothing to do with this.
No. And now you're billing me for its stay in the kennel. No. No.
And dude, that shit's wild. Well, because you had just told me about it.
So if I go off the web for like 60 days and I come out and I look like I gained, a decent amount of weight, you already know where I was at, and you already know that I was in the clink and clink, but the door will open. Trust me, I've been down this path before, and unfortunately for kids, not unfortunately, fortunate for kids, I myself personally, it is what it is. If you're going to lock me up over something like that, then I know you're targeting me. I know. Because there's plenty of animals that get out loose and run away. So, you know what I mean? Don't pull that. Don't pull that.
How's it going, Phoenix Tarot? That's Divine Tiffany, if you remember Divine Tiffany.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, man. Besides that, what do we got? What do we got going on that's good? I wanted an update on the Springfield trip too. What's going on with that?
Oh well, once the documentarian gets once he gets here, the first day is gonna be nothing but like when he gets here is getting everything set up, cameras, batteries, everything set up, and we're gonna go do 2 days of actual location filming of what we can get to. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of gonna be like a little bit of a goose chase, just because I want people to see, like, maybe I might run it. You never know, because these Baptist freaking places, man, they do some wild, wacky stuff that you could just come walking up out of the woods with a video camera and forget about it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm looking at this like, not only am I talking about this, stuff, but, somebody, dear to my heart is getting on videotape and telling the testimony about what happened, which can fire off some triggers in lawyers' heads. Because abuse is there's no statute on abuse.
So it doesn't ever expire. You can bring it up anytime.
No, it does not. Also, I'm having a very rough time getting my records. So I am going to, I'm not going to say, but I am going to basically go and try to, yeah, that's it. That's it. You're just going to have to sit back, eat the popcorn, and watch the movie when it is done, prepared, and ready to go. I'm not releasing it until it is fully edited, fully everything. It needs, this is educational, but this is also very sentimental as well. This is not something I want people to just think, oh, I'm going to take it and steal it. No, you're going to pay for it.
Right.
Because, I mean, even Just Trey, he'll put his music out for free, but he makes sure that people can't mess his music up. You understand? But he also sells albums, signed, so, I have a very, very sad but true story that a lot of people that don't understand, what it's like to be in the system, and what it's like to have a loved one trying to track down their, loved one. as far as, you know, family goes, and we'll leave it at that. But I mean, I believe my mom actually, you know, spoke out and said she was going to be speaking in the documentary. So yeah, it's my mother. But the details she has are a lot different than the details I have, because, like, I don't know, it just comes out differently with me, and then it comes out differently with her, or either the conversation will start off about this topic, and she'll have to get off the stream because she's getting triggered.
Yeah.
So, you know, it goes both ways with us.
Let me catch up the chat a little bit. We had a couple new guests stop in. Woody was saying, "What's the topic tonight?" I'm interviewing Rocko, and he's talking about his upcoming documentary. And then he heard you talking about the documentary a little bit, and he was asking what it's about. And I figured I'd give you a chance to summarize it a little bit better. Tiffany,
Okay.
I haven't seen much.
Well, when I was 14 years old, you know, or 13, going on 14, my father was currently living in the state that I'm living now. But he was living in like it was more like a cultic type ordeal. Like, they only believed in certain things, and, you know, you had to work hard, and my dad didn't like it, and my dad was what they call a functional alcoholic. So my father and I ended up moving out of that place, moving into another place. My father picked drinking back up. He got a job with a guy. This guy ended up taking his life. This guy also ended up getting out after 7 years. In the midst of all of this, they only contacted one family member in less than 24 hours, and I was automatically a ward to the state that I am in now. Which means my mother was told she had to do all kinds of programs, she had to do all kinds of, and she would do them, complete them, and then they tell her, no, you got to do this now.
Oh yeah, they give you hundreds of
this now.
Yeah.
When it comes while to I was in these programs, I was physically abused. I was psychologically abused. I was forcibly medicated. I was sent to psych wards for saying one thing, but it really wasn't what they, you know, said it was. So yeah, I was pretty much their zombie, you know, like a lab rat in a sense. But forced religion, at one point, it was they were trying to convert me to become a Baptist. One of the homes I lived in, it's just a horrible, like, I just gave you a pretty, you know, decent sized piece.
Yeah.
I was in, you know, locked rooms. They were giving shots of Haldol to kids. None of these places were being state regulated at that time, I don't believe. And if they were doing a very poor job. I never got brand new clothes. I had guardian items that would never do the right thing. So I blamed at first when I came out of the system, but I was almost trafficked at one point when I was in the system. I was in a home with broken windows, cardboard in the windows, something you would basically see in a Lifetime movie. A Christian organization, but then their hood. and you know they live in a dirty home and they have a bunch of kids, and they're pocketing money off of them. It's called cash for kids. Look it up. There was a video that was leaked, a Zoom call that was leaked. See, these are the big fish that I want to go after with a group of people that are willing to stand tall and let them all have it.
Yeah.
And for the survivors that are out there and they're keeping their mouths shut, open your mouth and speak. We need it.
Did you see Zenray's comment? She said Sloan Bella on YouTube just attended her friend's film premiere on the over medication of foster care children.
It doesn't surprise me. It really does not surprise me one bit that people are covering this.
He said, as a recovering alcoholic, there's no such thing as a functional alcoholic. That study was sponsored by Budweiser. Yeah.
Well, yeah, my dad was a Budweiser drinker, and what I meant by functional was my dad could drink a 24-pack throughout the whole day, come and walk to work, you know what I mean? Like, and never lose his jobs and do an excellent job. If he didn't have a beer when he woke up in the morning, he'd get the shakes.
Yeah, that's dependency though. I guess functioning, but dependency.
Meaning he was not happy, but he could still get up and go do his task. You understand? But my father really didn't have that long to live because of asbestos. That he was,
was he exposed to it at work or at home or what?
I think it was a job he did. I can't remember exactly the whole story with that, but my father worked very hard. I have to say that. My father made sure I had clothes on my back. My father made sure, I had what I needed, so, my fucking father was a rebel. That's where I get that from. That's where I get that, it's, you're either, you understand it or you don't. You understand it or you don't. And there's more to the story. There's plenty more to the story.
Well, that'll summarize pretty good what the documentary is about, though. So, in case you're wondering,
you're going to see hopefully some, buildings and whatnot. I'm going to try to see if there's any staff that are. If I see anybody I know, remotely, anyone that might remember something, not afraid to ask them.
So what's the significance of Springfield?
Well, Springfield is an area where I was location for it's the hub. So it's where the records are. It's where, for that main entity, which was the Missouri Baptist Children's Homes, which was a group of several homes that were very abusive, overly medicated, fire and brimstone, lock you in your room, overly medicate you. You go try to talk to a staff member, they push you away. They don't care for the kids. They're just there for one reason and one reason only. That's it.
I remember looking at that picture you sent me of you when you were a kid, just kind of in a daze in that picture where they had you like pose all goofy and you were wearing.
That family always had me pose. That family was obsessed with me. I was their prized possession.
But yeah, you just looked like you were under like
I was in prized possession until I turned around and said, "You're not my effing parents, and you're not my mother, and I will see my mother again, and I'm not going to Florida with you." And right after that, I was shipped off to Kansas City. Oh my, look, man, I lived a life, or I've lived in, I'm in 36, but still.
I will ask I'll ask the host tonight. The host tonight is Rocko. Rocko, we got somebody requesting a link in the background. Do you see who it is?
No, I can't.
Oh, well, Granny wants to know if he can join us. He said he'll.
No.
Yeah, no. I told you. I had a feeling.
No, this ain't about joking around, buddy. And please, I'm begging you right now, and I'm saying it respectfully. Some of the people I've been starting to communicate with are not ones to play with their content. I'm warning you right now. So if you go on there and mess around with a video of mine on my Facebook or whatever under a false account, which I've noticed, it's funny, since I've done the Jake Hudson show, I've gotten several people friend requesting me under all these different weird names.
Yeah, I told you, keep an eye out for Robert.
We don't even have to go there, because you know what I do? I just hit delete. I'm a whole new person, Granny. I'm not the meth head you thought I was. And I have plenty of account to that. So, I will say here on this live, like I have in previous lives, everybody tries something in their life. I tried it at one point because I lived in a town Wichita, Kansas, where, let me tell you what, you get robbed in a fucking heartbeat there, buddy. You'll get robbed in a heartbeat there. I live right dead smack in the middle of Wichita, the hood, the dirty, the sticks hood, not the city hood. Don't get it twisted. The sticks hood.
Yeah, somebody said that to me recently about they go, "Oh, you live outside of Chicago." They were like, what they said, "What would you do? Why do you run your mouth so much?" Or blah, blah. Dude, trust me, you do not want to walk up to a farmer's house at any point just because you think you're out of the city and you think they don't protect themselves like everybody else does. I'm like, you'd be surprised how good a fucking farmer boy can shoot. When half the time they've been doing it in their backyard with cans for fucking 30 years.
Yeah. No disrespect, but I'm not trying to get angry. I'm facing court fucking shit, man. I get targeted, bro. And, only reason I'm coming back on with Jacob is because Jacob has respect for me. And me and TOD had an understanding right here on a Jacob Waters live. Okay. And I said, I'm going to leave them alone. And we cleared everything up. And you know what? They're leaving me alone now.
Oh, I wanted to get into that with you too. But just for a heads up, Granny, I just blocked your comment because you accused you said methisms. All right. I've told this to everybody. As long as I've known Rocko, I've only seen him smoke weed or cigarettes. I've never seen him smoke anything else, and I'm staying by that. If you guys want to talk about,
I'm saying that, man, because I don't know what this dude did, man. This dude might have did something for that drug. People do some whacked out stuff with the drugs.
I'm just saying that's not allowed in my chat. We're not accusing people of drug stuff.
No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. It's like racial profiling on some realness.
What's going on, Jesse James? How you doing, man?
Hey, Wow. Anyways, documentary is going to be very, very, very on point with a lot.
But no, this you brought up the TOD thing. So this kind of upset me the other day because this is where I thought Jake made one mistake the other day. I'm like, yo, man. I was like, he made it seem like TOD was like after you guys. You know what I mean?
No, I explained that to him earlier. I said to him,
well, I knew you cleared it up with Jason too. I saw you say it to Jason, but I don't know because on the live you were like, dude, I thought we cleared the air, and you said that because Jake didn't explain to you what the
I did on the live, and I take back what I say, and I apologize. But
no, they understood because Jake didn't tell you what it said, you know.
And but
I always think those people
admitted to my wrongs. That's what I do today, because as long as I know what I do is correct, then you can say whatever you want. It ain't going to stick. So if you throw it up against the wall and it sticks, then you know you're doing something correctly.
Well, I was talking to you about this before. This is why I connect my chat to my StreamYard. If you go on lives with other people that don't connect their chat to their StreamYard, it's because they don't have control of their chat. They don't know what the fuck's going on in there. That's why they do that, is because either they don't want the guest reading the chat, or they're just too lazy to hook it up. It takes 2 seconds to connect all your chats to one spot. Rocko can see everything that people are saying if he wants to look at it.
I don't even bother because I'm here to tell a truth that's real, that we've already time. My mom has gotten on one of the streams and even said, and by the way, I'm a part of the documentary. I didn't expect her to say something like that. Not in the least.
I'm gonna say you told me she was going to be, but I never heard her. I never knew she said it publicly.
Well, I was surprised she even came out with it publicly, which is fine. But this is stuff that is hindering my future a little bit. More or less small roadblocks that just need to get buckled. Prosecutions need to start being mounted. Completely put together, case by case basis. And I would love for offenders, for each person that they did harm to, I think they should get no less than 10 years. Because a lot of people,
I said you're lenient. Any crime against a child, I want castration and bury them under the jail.
Because sometimes there's hundreds. Sometimes 100 kids will come out about the same guy. And the guy ends up getting in their 60s. I think one family here was in their 60s, and they got like 60-something years.
I'm just saying, I don't want my tax dollars going to somebody living in prison that should be fucking castrated and buried under the prison.
Yeah, well, I'm just talking about legal. I'm just talking about legally all in all of what's been going on in the midst of things, and people are not even alert to what's going on.
Well, legally, fuck the court system, and they need to prosecute these people harder, and maybe they'll learn a fucking lesson. Maybe you need to set an example.
Well, that's the plan, but you gotta go at it bit by bit by bit by bit by bit. So I just got to build the network of people where we're gonna go against it, and eventually they're gonna get tired and they're gonna start doing different things, or start challenging it in a court of law, but in a different type of court of law. We the people court of law.
Well, and honestly, I mean, even the jail system has a better answer to child predators than the court system does. Good luck going into a fucking prison with
Oh
anything,
no,
any kind
yeah,
of hardcore style. You're not getting out the same way you went in.
I was in a Maxi Max. I know. I was in Sullivan, in New York. Yeah, that was. I was in there with some rough people.
Yeah.
I was in there with Joe Sullivan, David Berkowitz,
I don't know who those guys are.
the son of Sam.
You were in there with the son of Sam?
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit. Same place?
Yes.
Wow. That's wild. No, I didn't even know that. I didn't know his name. As soon as you said son of Sam, I knew who you were talking about. But
Well, I was in a Maxi Max, so that's like a place for people who have high profile cases, or they're waiting an appeal, or they're spending the rest of their life behind bars. I never forget the time that it looked like a young kid. He was on the monkey bars, and when he jumped down, I said something, and he said, "I'm never going home." He said, "I killed 3 whatever." You know what I mean? Like, it's sad, but he was one of the most humble people there.
well, I mean, when you get your life taken away from you, but yet you still have to go through the steps for the rest of it, I mean, that'll definitely humble anybody. You have to give up, your own freedoms, and not usually it was by a decision, but not by choice at that point.
I have not been back to prison in a very long time.
That's good.
Yeah, it's good for this, what I'm going through. It really is.
Yeah. Well, and people don't try to pay attention to a person with a record. They try to brush them under the table as if they don't bring enough merit.
This, right?
What's that?
This.
What?
This whole thing.
No, I'm just saying in general, like anything you're talking about, if you got a bad record, they'll try to throw you under the bus for it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm a firm believer.
Yeah. I've always seen that. Or they'll just say somebody's crazy, or they'll say somebody's a liar. They just try to diminish your story by what they're saying about you. Or trying to define a person by their past, I think, is the best terminology of it.
No, it's really not.
No, I'm saying it's not the best thing to do, but that's the best way to describe what they do. They try to profile you by your past rather than knowing where you're at in life now.
Yeah.
That's what I know. Does. I mean, before the cop even walks up to your car, if he pulled you over, he already ran your plates and looked at your whole record. So he's already going to you with a predetermined idea of what
I know, man.
It's fucked up.
It really is. That's why Boozy Badass got. I can't believe that, man. When he got out last night, he was saying, he went, he was cutting it up. Boozy.
I don't know much about Boozy Badass.
I'll tell you what, man. He's some wild. He's wild, bro. Boozy Badass though, man. People was all up on the internet saying that this dude's a FBI agent. Yo, man, I'm telling you, I was listening to it like just like laughing,
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know his case.
They were threatening 313. They were threatening all their symbols and everything like
throwing
like
gang
stuff. What? Like gang stuff, man.
I don't know. I don't know much about gang stuff, dude. I know
No,
big
but
gangs, but
that's what they're thinking. That's what some of them are thinking, that it had something. You know what I mean?
oh, they think it had ties to gang stuff.
Boozy did something with our boy Church.
I didn't, like I said, I didn't even hear the church
Boozy
song.
did a YZ remix.
Did a YZ remix
with fucking Upchurch.
Yeah, no, I haven't even heard it. You told me about it, but I haven't heard it yet.
Boozy badass, man. He said, he said all black trucks. You know his southern accent. And, I remember him being at a stop, right, when they pulled him out of the car one time, and he pulled money out, and he looked at the officer, and he said, "How much money do you?" He said, "How would you like extra and some you know what?" I'm laughing my ass off. The cops looking at him thinking, no, them bills look nice. You know what I mean? Like, but
well, it's wild when you can walk up to somebody that's got enough money to make you turn around and walk away. That's a gangster.
No. They arrested him, but I think he bailed out on that. I'm not sure if he bailed out or not, but they might have let him go at the stop. I'm not sure. But what I find is wrong is if someone has a 2A charge and it's state, right? And then the federal just jump in and grab you right when you walk out of state court. That is, I think, double jeopardy in my eyes.
Well, yeah, because if you do have a case that needs to be settled, they're supposed to transfer you at the end of whatever you served for the other one. They're supposed to transfer you right to where your next warrant or whatever is. They don't just.
There was no warrant. It got dropped. The case got dropped, and the feds picked it up. When Boozy was leaving the courtroom, he ended up getting jammed up with the feds.
So they picked him up right after the state.
Yeah, man. Like, that's weird. You know what I'm saying? But then he bailed out on that one. And then I think something happened where, I don't know, man. But, there are people out there that have sealed indictments that are running around and they are taking down whoever they can just to get to the top.
Well, yeah. I mean, and to keep other people down. I mean,
and to keep themselves out of jail.
Yeah.
Which is wrong.
Well, and there's some people that just got straight immunity. Like, you'll look at them and be like, oh, that person never gets in trouble, even though they're always doing reckless ass shit.
I often wonder if Boozy was possibly set up. That's what I wonder. My wheels are kind of turning in that direction.
By like rivals or somebody higher? Like, would it be like?
No. Okay. So Boozy Badass is basically like a grandpa. You know what I mean? Like, he was Bad Boy Records at one point, I believe. He was, he's old school. He goes back. You know what I mean? Like, he goes back.
Okay.
But I don't think he still does, occasion rap songs and whatnot, but it's nothing like it used to be.
I'm assuming if he's Southern, he was probably messing with people like Cottonmouth Kings, T.I.
T.I., his son is friends with T.I.'s, his son is friends with T.I.'s son.
But yeah, that would make more sense. Being in like the Atlanta area somewhere.
He's from Baton Rouge, I believe it is. He's Louisiana.
Okay.
Yeah, he's from Louisiana.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But what I like about Boozy, he can switch his voice up. Like, when he's talking, you'll hear different than what you hear when he actually is rapping.
What do you mean? Like, how different is it?
It's a little different.
Yeah. gonna say I have to, like I don't listen to much, like, 'cause if it's Boozy, the person I'm thinking about, I just
He's
never.
always on. He's always flashing money, man. He's
I don't listen to a lot of rappers that flash money.
no, I
Probably about
know.
bitches and hoes, or yeah,
I
that's not my
know,
kind of rap.
yeah. He's just funnier than hell when he can't smoke weed now.
Why is that?
They took that away from him.
How do you take that away from him?
The feds did.
Is he in a state where like
He's wearing a bracelet.
huh? I just didn't know that was well. I mean, depending on the state, I know it's a crime, but
No, he's home, I think, now, but he's on a bracelet.
what I'm saying is marijuana legalized in
No,
Louisiana?
I don't think it's legalized. Is it Louisiana?
I don't know. I don't know their status. Like I know Ohio, Illinois, New York.
Trey's from Detroit, or not Michigan.
He's from Michigan, Detroit.
I believe that's where he's from, Michigan. Yeah, I believe that's what he said.
Interesting.
He's got a show coming up in Indiana. And what I respect is he's bringing on, I can't remember their names, but there's two or a few different openings. Like people that aren't getting, the utmost, credit where credit is due.
Trying to think of who's out in Indiana. Like rap wise, like rapping out of Indiana. I can't think of a lot of them.
But like I said, he doesn't just creek squat it, man. He goes, he's the Bass Pro Jordan wearing motherfucking, you know what I mean? Hoodie, straight up fucking, keeps it. His style is just, it's generic. It's generic. He just
that's
keeps
good though. I mean, that's good that he doesn't get put in a box. We were talking about that before because it's hard as an artist to just being like, doesn't matter if you're an actor, it doesn't matter if you're
Bass Pro, a cow hoodie on with some shorts in that song Next, with some old basketball sneakers on, Nike.
Let's say I like that Legend song that you sent me.
Oh man, no, it's a banger, man. I think I don't know, man. I don't want to say anything because I don't want to start any, media problems. But and that's something I'm sure you already know.
It's something you're looking at.
Well, no. It's I kind of, because if you notice, who else did a song named Legend?
Sure, did, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah. But you understand now? The decimals kind of went a little bit more up. You know what I mean? Like, I felt I like this version of Legend.
Yeah. No, I think that's something you actually see in rock, like that country hip hop. You see it more in there because if you look at like the rap game, their version of Legends is greatest rapper alive. Do you know how many rappers wrote that they were the greatest rapper alive?
He says I'm one of the greatest. He always says that. I want to be one of the.
But I'm saying in the hip hop side, what they do is they say I am the greatest rapper alive. In the country side, they call themselves legends.
Yeah. But he's not country. He's versatile.
Yeah.
But what did you think about that song? He says, "I got people that will roll you up."
I liked his verses. I thought it was a good song.
Yeah. Did you listen to it?
It didn't remind me. I didn't think it because I thought you were saying it was a shot at Upchurch. I don't think it was anything towards Upchurch though.
I didn't want to really get into that publicly, like
I thought he was tipping his hat more than anything.
Yeah, I know, but it's a little bit different. You could tell he's got a lot of aggression inside. he definitely, that's why I want to hear his testimony, because he's definitely dealt with a lot in his life. You know, to get to where he's at right now, you know, at 23 years old, you know, it's a huge achievement, a huge achievement.
Yeah,
I believe he makes his own beats. He makes his own beats. He writes his own music, and I believe he writes for others because he works in his studio. So he mixes beats. You know what I mean? He's around the lab all the time, and I respect it because, you know, they give him, you know, you know, he has, you know, studio equipment that he's able to use, you know, and that right there shows. That right there shows how independent he is. I believe, girl,
good enough, they'll bring you in to use their equipment. Like that shows how good you are, because people don't let you use their equipment for no reason. They're not going to waste tape on you. He's already shown them something.
Dude, like he said, I could write a song every day if he, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, it's like, you know, if that's what he thinks would be a good idea.
Yeah, but or I mean, if he puts out too much at one time,
I don't know, man, because everybody a lot of people be waiting for him, man. I know I do.
But that's
every time a notification pops up, I get it right away.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm ready for it, man. I'm up the next day. The coffee's brewing. I'm waiting on that song because I know Just Trey is gonna spit some real fire. I know he's gonna spit some fire.
They want you waiting for that next piece, though. They don't want you being like, "Oh my God, he saturated the market. We got everything to listen to right now." Like, I was telling somebody about Lil Wayne, and they were talking about his public albums. I'm like, you realize he released over 146 mixtapes that were free to everybody? Just gave them out. He just said, here's another song I did. Here's another song I did. 146 albums. Gave them out for free. I'm like, that's fucking nuts. Like, he almost saturated the market so much that all you could hear was Lil Wayne on somebody else's track. It's wild, like the different methods people use to advertise themselves these days, especially when social media was coming up. Is he big on social media, or is he signed to somebody else, or what is he doing?
Who, Just Trey?
Yeah, Just Trey.
I don't think he's signed to anyone, man. I think he is himself. He's self-made. He's got, I believe, his girlfriend that does the, filming and whatnot of the music videos. He puts his music, like I said, he makes his own beats. He makes his own music, and he'll stay in the studio all night long, losing sleepless nights. You know what I mean? Like, because before he drops something, it's going to be, he wants to make sure his stuff is going to, you know what I'm saying, it tip the scale, which it is. It definitely.
When you're writing, you're in that zone, though. Like, when you're in that creative zone, you just keep going. Like, I know a lot of artists like that. They don't want to stop once they have an idea. They just want to get it all out on paper or on tape or something. That way people, absorb it all right there. And he's like, all right, I just got to unload all this. Because that's usually how artists are. All of a sudden, they're just like, I got to go to the studio right now. Like, I got to get this out.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying But he did, shout out, he did tell me today, he said, in a live on IG, he said to me, because I said, the talent was ripped from me at a young age. And he told me right in the live, he said, age don't mean nothing. He said, maybe that happened because it needed to happen to get you to where you're at now to really finally push that. He said, I respect that. So,
and I've always heard this, and I've always said this. When it comes to artists, you never hear about an artist in any genre, whether it's comedy, whether it's acting, whether it's anything, that just lived a perfect life and was such a great actor. No, it's the struggle that made them who they are.
Right.
It's not the cakewalk.
And it's individual struggle.
Mm-hmm.
One might struggle from this, one might struggle from that. You know what I mean? Or it could be a combination of things. Because like my story being told, you know, starts out really, really rough. You know what I mean? Like where I could basically, you know, if I want to, I could put it together where I could do a conspiracy set of albums and then all of this, you know what I mean? Other stuff.
Yeah.
If I really wanted to. But like, I kind of want to leave that alone for a little while.
Yeah, no, you need to open that up at some point though, and just be like, nope, I'm not in one lane. You don't know where I'm going to be, because just like you were talking about with Just Trey, you don't.
Yeah, no. That's why I'm saying I'm already scoping it out.
Yeah,
I'm already getting ideas. You know what I mean? Like, and trying to figure out, okay, how can I incorporate this? You know, certain things with certain, you know, different people, maybe, you know, the collaborations, the maybe, you know, somebody else, like I like that little Payday. I mean, yo, for a young buck, he jams.
So I know you can write songs about other stuff and freestyle songs about other stuff. I don't know if you remember this. More than 8 months ago, me and you were sitting on a live, and we were in the background, I think, before we went on, and you started rapping about Montauk, and the people involved, like, you just started freestyling it. I'm like, holy shit, like, he can rap about that stuff. I was like, that was wild. So I know you can hit that lane too. Like, I've seen you do it, and that was before you were talking about doing stuff. That was a while ago. That was like at least 8 months ago. Me and you were just hanging out on a live stream before we went on. I remember, or it was after. But we were offline, and I remember us doing it.
What was it? Oh man, it's. I'm a motherfucking chosen one, you better understand. I'm a motherfucking chosen one, you better understand. I ain't here to grandstand, I'm here to tell the truth. Ruthless motherfucker named Rocko. I just mess around like that right there, you know what I'm saying, as a hook.
Yeah, and then you build off of it. No, I get you.
Yeah, man. I'm a motherfucking chosen one, you better understand. I'm a motherfucking chosen one, you better understand. Oh, man. Motion detected. Man. Oh, man. What happened now? What's Granny saying? Oh, how much meth did he smoke? I don't smoke. I let your girl choke on my cock. Yeah, I talk the real game, and I ain't ashamed. My motherfucking altars will rip you right out your frame. As I can see back these blood stains on the wall as I sit there and watch a bitch withdraw and crawl, asking and begging me for more. But I don't live that life no more. I chose a whole different pathway that's lesser chosen, while the rest of you people would rather sit back and watch the movie Frozen.
Damn. What do they say in the rap song? Damn, son, where'd you find this?
I'm telling you, man, I go in on it. I love it. Imagine
you're about to start up a rap battle with Granny, though. You're about to light a fire.
Huh?
I say, you about to light a fire. He about to start a rap battle with you.
Yeah, but that's I have to choose on it. Meaning I don't, if I don't want to, I don't want to.
No, I get you. But dude, don't even tell me if somebody put a diss track about you, you wouldn't respond.
Oh, I would go back at it, but I would have to sit there and like analyze and you know what I mean? Like try to, figure the person out to where I could hit certain points.
Oh yeah.
Where I'm gonna like literally decapitate them. You know what I mean? Like my goal is to go for your Achilles, your Achilles heel. That's my goal. When it comes to something like that, because a lot of rappers will rap about, oh, your shoes, this, that, boom, boom. You know what I mean? But when you can go deep into somebody and like really grab something inside somebody and really shake them up to where they get to the point, like if you look out, MGK was shaking when he was drinking after Eminem killed him in that shit. Killed him.
I gotta get in on that. I gotta get in on that. Dude, Eminem had no fucking lyrics in that song and he didn't come with any facts in the fucking 2 songs that he made. Besides Beard is Weird was the only thing that I thought that MGK said was a little dumb, but it showed how much Eminem was a little bitch because he's the one that called Diddy and fucking tried to clear the air, and then Eminem tried to throw some clout at Diddy right after Eminem had called him and tried to get Eminem to apologize. Like, that's a bitch move, and he just did it because he's high up in the game now. That was a bitch move. That's why I called out. I'm like, Eminem changed a lot. Like, I like Eminem. Don't get me wrong. I love Eminem. But I think, and I also think MGK should have had another one. He
also should have kept his daughter's name out of his mouth.
No, dude. He went to Detroit, and he grew up. He's an Eminem fan, and his daughter was a fan of MGK. Like, he wasn't being a dick. He just Eminem took it too personal, and he likes his life private like any other celebrity.
With my daughter, I'd probably do the same,
Yeah.
He's
been trying to keep her out of the spotlight his whole life. I don't
That's
blame him.
the unfortunate part about being in the game, That's sometimes you got to go back at stuff retardedly, But I'd rather it be like, I would have rather been like, okay, all right, let's meet somewhere. Let's battle on screen in front of everybody.
Right.
And then maybe M would have came up with some stuff because you'd have been staring him.
Eminem freestyle way better standing than MGK ever could.
Oh my God! You would have murdered him. You would have murdered him.
He grew up doing real rap battles. It's a whole different scenario. That's when you're standing across from somebody and you actually got to come up with something right there. I don't think MGK could do that. MGK's got to go to the studio and write some shit. Like,
Just Trade definitely can.
Yeah, there's not a lot of artists that can do that. Mac Lethal can do it. I don't know if you've ever heard Mac Lethal. He's from Kansas City, I think.
No, see, I'm not really trying to get caught up too quick here, man. Eventually, yeah, I'm gonna have to, hit up some, like karaoke bars and shit like that, to start out. Once I get a couple of songs written, get them down pat, you know what I mean? Get some studio equipment and fucking get to jamming, you know what I mean? And let everything set sail, man, because every day I wake up, the first thing I do is turn on some kind of music. It's weird. Every day.
I don't think it's weird, man. Music's
and it motivates the hell out of me. It motivates the hell out of me.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of times it's either the song "The Bottom" by Just Trey, Now it's for sure Legend. I love Legend. You know, because I'm from Florida, and yeah, that that's the type of family my dad. That's how my father grew up. Rebel flags, you know what I mean? Like just that, living in the country and just I don't know. I think if I would have living in New York was I was pushing towards it. I was sitting in front of the mirror, rapping the Eminem songs. My mind was set, was ready to go for it. But then I got involved with the wrong people. And my dreams slowly drifted away rather than sitting down, with a couple of other friends that were willing to do so at the time. I have no clue where they are. But I mean, so when Just Trey said 36 mark don't mean nothing, I already know that. I can feel that because of Broadnax. Look at Broadnax. Look how old he is.
He's still doing good.
Yeah. Yeah. I got a chance to at least grab some of it. And who knows? I mean, Tech 9 in his 50s. But who knows? I might want to jump off with a clothing line or something. You know what I mean? I don't know. I might want to smash out some rap for a while, and I might just start to get to a point where I could brand a clothing brand or something like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Not take my money and blow it on dumb stuff, but invest my money so that way it stretches and I can continue to make business.
Oh yeah, through that. And that's how it works. No, that's how it works. You gotta have money to make money. It's always like that.
Yep.
You gotta invest in yourself.
I do believe that I'm gonna come out with quite a few tracks, because I believe once I start writing and once I start getting those hooks, eventually after those hooks, I'm gonna start getting those, those verses, and those bars, and eventually it's gonna come to me, and I'm gonna have to be in front of a mic or, just sitting there writing or listening to the beat. No way. He just Trey just popped the tape up on the remix. That's right. I kept pumping it out there. I kept saying, drop the remix. He dropped it.
Nice.
Oh man, that's what's up. I knew it was coming. I knew.
What song did he remix?
I think Legend, the one that he did today.
Oh, okay.
Yesterday.
Damn, he's moving quick.
He's a he knows what he's doing, man.
Yeah, dude, if you're writing remixes to your own songs 2 days later, or he already had it, but he said he probably already had it chambered up.
All up here.
But you don't think he already had the remix ready? Or do you think it was
I'm not gonna say yes and I'm not gonna say no because
I guess either way he did if he has that gift, Either way that it's ready.
Right. I think I don't want to speculate too much,
I get you.
you know, when you're trying to communicate with another artist, and you know you want to collab, or he was talking about hooks and stuff, or you know, or something like that. Like I just
Regardless,
threw up a good hook. You know what
yeah.
I mean? I could come in with a hook like that, and then he could come in with the verses, and
Or
then the hook
regardless,
could be a little
it's just
bit
us complimenting.
longer. Huh?
You know, yeah, I said regardless, it's just us complimenting, and we're speculating on how good he actually like. He's either amazing or really amazing. You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
he's
definitely he for sure versatile.
yeah.
Because
Sounds like he can freestyle, man. It sounds like he's got that off the dome game a little bit better
he
than most.
can speed it up, or he can, you know, lower the temperature.
Gotcha.
You know, and a lot of times I think his remixes sometimes are a little bit more, you know, slower, but maybe not this one. By the way, you can go to his channel right now and we can listen to his song. I have already spoken with him. I have emails from him. Like, you can use his music. He won't.
Oh no, I know. I just you probably got approval, but I don't. You know, so it would
Whatever
still get
show I'm
your.
on.
No, I'm just saying it would still get taken down, and we'd have to dispute it for 30 days. Regardless, the algorithm will take it down if it's copyrighted anywhere. YouTube doesn't know that you just.
A lot of reaction channels.
Oh yeah, reaction ones. You know what I mean? Reaction ones are different. Especially if you're set up to be a reaction channel, I think you can get away with it a lot more. I wish I could.
You think me and Jake should do that?
You think Jake should do that?
I think I told Jake, I said we could do that, you know?
To music? That'd be interesting.
Nah, man, I'm into some good shit. I'll cover Just Trey's full album. I have the permission.
That's awesome, dude. That's so cool that he was saying that he was going to set you up with that, and that you're in communication with him. That's even cooler.
And well, yeah, because I was thinking, I was like, I was listening to a couple of his songs, and they were making a lot of sense to me. It was making more sense to me, you know, how like some of the songs kind of would flourish with the documentary, you know.
How they'd fit in. No, I gotcha.
And you know, being allowed to use the whole album, you know, that's huge too. Of course, he will definitely be in the credits. Of course, he will get, you know, copies of anything that we do. You know what I mean? Like, it goes like that. It goes.
Yeah. If you're going to be using his content, you're going to want to present it.
You know, that's going to help the documentary immensely, because he's got, like I said, some of his songs you see gangster, some of his songs you see him as being, you know, it varies. It definitely varies.
Yeah, no, like I said, I thought it was awesome when you told me you started talking to him and that you were interested in his music, and then you asked him about putting stuff on the documentary, and he was cool with it, and then you guys started talking more after that. I'm like, dude, that's awesome, dude. Like, no, not a lot of people get a chance to talk to an artist that they like.
You know, it was funny because what happened was before I went and got my dental work done. You know, I was sitting there. It was like, you know, whatever, boom, boom, right? Next thing you know, I refreshed my YouTube, and this video pops up and it's limitless. I'm like, all right, something's telling me to listen to this, right?
Okay.
And it talks about how hard work is limitless. And it gave me the inspiration to go get my teeth done, you know what I mean? To start working on my self-care as well. So that way I could push forward with my dreams.
Well, that's good. I mean, whatever motivates you.
Hard work is limitless. It is limitless.
Yeah, it's what you put into it.
I mean, you know, there's another good one out there. Shout out to Cool Hand Luke. I'll tell you what, Redneck Mob. Oh boy. Watch what you say. Oh man, that ski mask cowboy. I tell you what. You know what I'm talking about?
I do not.
What about Leroy?
Leroy?
Oh, I messaged Leroy and told him to leave the crap alone. Leroy Biggs.
Yeah, no, I don't know what he's got.
Anyways, I think he's related to Upchurch.
Okay.
His cousin that was in Florida. He's a rapper. He's a little bit overweight, kind of chubby dude, but he's nice. He ended up in the hospital, I guess, you know, from some, you know, something not good. And he was calling himself names. Struggle Jenin went like this. I'm gonna, he said, when I see you, man, he said, I'm gonna let you heal up, but I'm telling you right now, too many of our people have been lost. And that's the truth.
I say the only Southern rappers I really follow are probably Upchurch, Yellow Wolf.
But Upchurch isn't really doing anything anymore, man.
Well, yeah, no, he's got too much other shit going on.
Yo, and he's always on there talking shit.
Yeah,
he doesn't care. What?
I think he got too big. He got too big too fast, and now he's dealing with all the fucking drama that comes with it. Like, I think he does everything he can to protect himself, but
I believe Howler Boy Records is no longer. They're not messing around. They're not. You know, it's not open anymore.
Oh yeah, no, you told me they shut it down because of who had their money in the. Look, he's giving away pieces of the pie that he doesn't even know he's giving away.
Church?
Got no fucking pie left.
Church, right?
Yeah. Gosh. Dude, the more I look into that, the more I'm like, dude, you're kind of a dummy. Like, you just trust all these people around you? I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Why you trust all these people?
Yo, shout out to father-son reaction. I love them. They're hilarious.
Who's that? What do
Father and son reaction.
What kind of reaction videos do they do? For music or what?
They're all Creek Squad, man. They moved to over there to Tennessee now. Hey, I'll tell you what, Ripta's back in the game too.
Who?
Ripta.
Ripta?
Remember Church went off on Ripta at one point and kicked him out? Kicked everybody out, man. Busting windows.
The only stuff I really followed.
Yo, what the hell are you busting windows and shit? Yo, oh man.
Oh yeah, he's got some reckless ass friends. The only thing I ever followed about him was like every once in a while when he had like a crazy ex-girlfriend scaling the fucking fence, or like just random ass shit like that.
Some woman with the Bible was running through his yard.
I saw that one. And she's just looking into the speaker, fucking reading Bible verses and
God,
shit.
man. You know what I'm saying? You can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up.
Yeah, especially when it brings Jesus.
I somewhat think though he kind of brings attention to himself as well, and I think he realized that him and Ripta were close. You know what I mean? What doesn't come out in the wash, whatever. You know what I'm saying? He was saying all that. And he found out what Ripta was telling him all along was the truth. And we all know what that is.
Yeah.
Where Ripta was watching every move he was making. But at one point, he couldn't talk to church. He was Elvis. He was this one.
Yeah, no, I think he's too open. He was always that guy you could just pull up at his fucking house. Like he was always cool with people doing that. Like if you got a nice car and you got the paperwork, pull up to my house. Like he'd say that to people. I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Just giving people your address and shit. Like, he's wild.
Would you go over there?
Would I go over there?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I would like to, but I would assume it would be too. You know what I mean? There'd just be too much going on.
You think there'd be a lot of rowdiness?
Oh yeah. I think he lives a fun life, dude. I think he just does what the fuck he wants.
You think he gets in a lot of trouble?
I don't think he gets in a lot of trouble. Like I don't think he's a big I mean, he drinks a little bit, but I don't think he's much of a boozer. Like nobody that drinks alcohol or anything on a regular basis is drinking milk at any point in their day. That motherfucker still drinks milk and eats beef jerky like a fucking like a 13-year-old kid. I love it.
You know, Ripta, he loves his cigarettes.
Yeah. And I can see, and I mean, yeah, because I remember when Ryan got his new teeth, he's like, I'm not going to ever chew again. And like fucking 2 hours later, he had fucking big ass fucking horseshoe in the bottom lip. He's like, never mind. I'll just buy new teeth again. Fucking.
I think he might be losing a little. You know, I don't know. You know, and Just Trey had said to his fans, look, I don't know if that's going to happen. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Trey's like, I gave him the open invitation. You know what I mean? He reposted the video. But Holler Boy Records, you know, but Trey didn't get into none of the, you know, what really was going on. You know what I mean? It's not his place.
Well,
but at the same time,
Holler Boy went down. It doesn't matter. Like church can
no, like that's what he basically said, but he didn't go into, oh, we had conversation. You know what I mean? No. Thank you for reposting stuff of his. You know, his Dear Up Church hit 100,000. I think it's 100,000.
Damn, that's good.
He did a song, Dear Up Church.
Did he? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, man.
What was it? What was it saying? What did he say in the song?
He was basically letting him know, I'm here, man. My inbox is open.
Yeah, no, and knowing Upchurch, he'd make people wait for it too. He's not a big collabo guy.
Yeah, I think he is.
I think he is at certain times in his life. I don't think he is all through his career. Like there's certain art, like when you think of like Akon, like how many singles do you know by Akon?
Not many.
Not many. You know, collabos where Akon sang on the song, but Ryan Upchurch, you know a lot of songs that he sang by himself. And you also know some good songs that he did with other people. Like it's weird when you have an artist that's actually good at doing both and they're not reliant on collabos to keep them alive. Like you don't want to have an artist that just has one good single that you know about. Like they got to have a bunch of singles that they can do solo too. And that's why I like any artist that will stay in their own lane sometimes, but then they'll show you like I can do this on my own. I don't need anybody to help me. Like if anybody else wants to step up to the plate, feel free to. Like we'll do something together. But this is the level I'm at. Come meet me up here. Fucking Biggie Smalls was like that. Biggie Smalls when he rapped with what was it? 3 No, not 3 6 Mafia. What's the other one? Oh, Bone Thugs and Harmony. He changed up his whole rapping style to rap like the Bone Thugs and Harmony beat does, and because they have a whole different Southern rhythm, and Biggie changed up his New York style and totally changed it for them and for that song. And he's like, all right, this is the level they're at. I'm gonna go meet them there, and that's why it was one of the best collabos ever done. That's something crazy about what's it called? The band I was just talking about. Oh God, I can't even think of their fucking name.
No, so when are we going to Montauk?
When are you going to Montauk? When do you want to go to Montauk?
Go walking around Montauk, right? Let's start the Montauk.
Dude, would you actually go?
I think I'm going.
I
Relatively.
thought you had something scheduled. Yeah, I'd be down to go out there. I didn't know you had something scheduled.
Well, I told you in the chat about the guy from the film festival, right? That not going to get into details because then people can go and make up shit and say stuff that's not true. So I just give very little detail.
Gotcha.
And
Then people don't show up at the airport and shit.
Man, see that right there was total disrespect.
Yeah.
I was burying my grandfather. Why would you want, and you were going to question me?
Right.
I told you to go fuck yourself. You don't believe me? Go fuck yourself. Now I got to sit on a plane and think about all this shit I just told you and then go meet up with a gentleman.
Yeah, that's some stalker shit. That's what I mean. You don't follow people around like that. It's fucking weird. Or meet them places that they don't know you're going. Like, it's fucking weird.
That's why I wouldn't even give destination timing.
No, that's why I said I don't blame you. Otherwise, you end up with crazy ass shit like that happening.
And the funny thing is not even in New York airports.
What do you mean?
It wasn't in a New York airport.
About it. Yeah, talk to me about it later.
It was at another fucking airport that he drove an hour.
Out of his way to come and do anything.
Yeah, and then he got mad at me, and they're on the runway pointing the camera at my plane. Like, come on, man! Like,
that's some wild shit.
And they thought they got camera footage of me in the thing.
Yeah, I don't understand people, man. That's just some weird shit.
I'm not getting paid anything to do anything, and I'm getting stalked. So that tells you something right there. Like, it is what it is. I don't toot my own horn. I just am blessed in some ways. Where, he didn't like the fact he didn't get to meet me. So fucking what? So what? So what? I'm not a prize. I'm not a, somebody you get to, I don't like that. I don't like that feeling.
Well, yeah. No, if anybody meets you, it should be on, mutual acceptance.
I'm not doing that. I'm just gonna meet you because you want to hear a story or two. No.
But no, I'm saying regardless, you don't just ambush somebody.
Well, that's what happened to me.
Well, that ain't the way to do it. That's for damn sure.
And then, other people did other things, and it was not right. It was wrong, and they know it. They know exactly what they did. But see, my friend, I don't have to live with that because I don't jump onto that. I don't buy into that. It's a bunch of bullshit added on to the real shit that I talk about.
Well,
Sub 11, all that stuff.
Well, I was saying that's the behind the scenes stuff that nobody even fucking knows is going on.
It don't matter. It really don't. I talk to people that don't, like I said, they don't broadcast.
I just don't think people understand how much people actually fuck with you. Like, because when me and you started talking, that's when I figured out all this stuff. And I've been looking. Do you remember when I was fucking? I think we first met when I was going over to Ryan's show, and I was like, dude, why are you guys talking shit? Like, what the fuck is that? Like, I think that's one of the times we first met. Is I was going at Ryan really hard because I thought they were being mean to you and a fucking.
No. I haven't heard from Ryan in a while.
Yeah, they were joshing, but it seemed like they were being aggressive about it, and you were taking it personal at the time too. And I was just looking.
I don't take nothing personal now, man. It's a whole different ball game, but I haven't heard from him in a while.
Talk about an old school friend, man. He's been there for you back and forth.
Oh, well, SUVs pulled up on him one time, dropping me off.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Well, he's in the radio business. He's a little connected, I would say. He runs in this.
Not at that time. Not at that time. I'm a day one Ryan guy.
Oh yeah,
I'm a Ryan guy that was still working in a grocery store at that time. You know what I mean? He was still working in a grocery store. He wasn't into all this big stuff with cheats, and that all came along when he built his network.
Yeah. But think about it, man. I've known you so long. I know that group photo that you got with Ryan and the guy that got
time. It took time.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
He gets paid, man. He does jobs. And he gets to go to California, and he gets, and and we're not talking low numbers either. He's a PR, for crying out loud. Like, PRs get paid. Because you could be a PR to 10 different people.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's kind of simple once you get the rundown on it.
I get you.
Cheeks actually got I think he's paying him, to be honest.
Well, it's good advertising. I mean, he's on the radio, and he's going to a lot of different stations.
Yeah, he's on a lot. He's on Fox. He's definitely booming, man.
I was trying to tell, because some of the community that me and you hang out with, that I kind of introduced you to, with like Jake and Pesci's whole crowd that follows him, they're all into professional wrestling, and Ryan does really good interviews with professional wrestlers. He had he had Sabu on. I didn't even know he was doing shit with Sabu like that. Sitting down with like legends of wrestling.
Listen, he's done some legendary rappers, man. like old school. You know this. I think he's did some Mob Deep, I believe.
Yeah.
I think he did interviews with them. I mean, he's with those people, he's with them hood people in New York, like in, pictures where it's like you gotta have a special card to be inside the building.
Yeah.
Like he trust me, he's protected too.
But that's what I was saying is I've known you for so long that it's like I remember you always had that picture with you and Ryan and your buddy that passed away. Yeah. No, I just remember that you told me that story so many times back when we first met. I was just like, yeah, you've known Ryan for a long time. Like he's always been one of those guys that you've known.
2014. It's been a while. But I've known him since I got into when I awoke to this stuff.
Got a wild question in the chat. They said, Rocko and Jacob, if you could be a Marvel character, what Marvel character would you be?
None. I don't get into that stuff, man. I don't. No.
I've never seen any Marvel movies besides Spider-Man. Is that a Marvel movie? That's about all I've ever seen.
I think so.
I don't know DC and Marvel very well. I've seen Batman, I guess, but only the old ones. I've never seen any of the new Marvel movies or DC comic movies. I'm so disconnected from that stuff.
You are, right? Yeah.
I never really watched any of it. Because he was just talking about Ant-Man. I don't even know what Ant-Man is. Fuck if I know.
All right, so we got two blinks.
Oh, on the motion?
Motions, yeah.
Well, we've been on for a little bit, man. Let me know if you need to run. I appreciate you coming on either way.
No, I'm cool. I'm chilling. Just
okay.
Bullshit, man. That's it. We're enjoying it.
We're talking about music most of the time. We've been having fun. I enjoy it.
But with Montauk, it's like you there's just too much. It's a topic that, there's too many eggs in one basket, I'd say. And it's a pissing contest, to be honest with you.
Oh, yeah, man. No, that's why we talked about this before. If you don't want to talk about it, you just ask me.
No, I'm just informing people what it really is.
Oh, yeah.
It's a pissing contest. I mean, you got people out there getting laptop computers. Fucking people are donating $200, to these people that are telling them stories that they don't know if they're true. And some of those stories have some of the words that I've used. Because some of those people decided they wanted to take some of my words and use them, mix them, throw them into their story, because they don't have stories. Go to James Ring, ask him about Montauk.
Don't do any names.
Ask him about ask that gentleman about Montauk. Mr. Super Soldier Talk. Ask him. He'll tell you he has no memories and nothing, but yet he's wrote all these books. Come on now.
Yeah, I told you I talked to James Rink one time, and I just asked him, I think I asked him something about interviewing people, and he answered me, and never, I think I thanked him for the answer, and then I never actually talked to him. didn't know anything about him. It was just a question about interviewing people, and I was asking just for a piece of advice, and he gave his advice, and I was like, I appreciated it, and that was the only conversation I ever had with the guy. But I told you I watched there's a documentary. It's like Okie Stories or Okie something. He's a black gentleman that he's a YouTuber, and he documented this whole thing where he met James online and went and met James in person, and how much money.
I know, man. I know.
Oh my goodness. He said he was like,
yo, stop. I know, man. I know.
Needs to know about this stuff.
And there's a new one coming out too.
Oh, man.
And supposedly a Jay and a you know what is going to be involved, and they're going to expose, I think, an arc or whatever. Yeah, you know, we could talk. Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot of crap being put on, you know, meaning that, you know, a bunch of crap shooters, a bunch of people just trying to make money are about to get exposed heavily.
Do you so you saw the first one, and you know, so do you remember the other people that were at the conference that were there? Because Penny was there. Oh, was she? I didn't know. No, they showed certain people on the documentary. I didn't see her.
Okay, what one are you talking about? Conference?
I don't know what the conference was. It's the one that Oki guy went to when he was going to meet James Rink. So it was one of the ones that James Rink was at with other people, but either
I don't know because I wasn't following that.
I think Joseph was at that one, and he was on camera in the documentary because he just got caught because they had the event set up like several days. You'd show up for different things, and they'd show up to like all the different classes and signed up for all the different ones, and then met James Rink in his room and did like a one-on-one with James.
I know all about it.
It was deep. But yeah, no, I didn't know if you knew all the other people that were there. I went back and watched it recently. I was like, ooh.
He got him good. He got him good, didn't he?
Oh, God. He was in so deep. Fucking, what did he call himself? Black Samurai channeling Nicolas Cage or some shit? I'm like, the hell are we talking about? I love it.
You loved how he got him?
Well, yeah, because I don't like it when people just absorb you into their story without you bringing anything to the table. Like you just accept everything they're saying without any questioning. You know what I mean? Like there's got to be a little bit of a back and forth. All of a sudden, James was collaborating everything this guy said, and he was saying, "Oh yeah, I remember you in this past life." Like he was just winging it, and you knew like from the beginning that he was just winging it. And it seemed like I'm not gonna lie. Once I saw the prices of what he was charging for some of the things that he was doing, I'm like, whoa. Got quite the adventure going on over here.
No, it's true.
That was the only thing I ever saw from James Rink publicly that I've never seen any. I don't think I've seen a couple of his interviews, but I don't know how many of them had that build up like that documentary that I saw, because that one showed the whole lead up to them meeting, like the first they met online and how he was acting online, and then you know what I mean, how it built up. And I was like, that's interesting. Yeah, and he'll mainline somebody that's got a little money to pay to go meet him. All of a sudden, he's like, "Oh yeah, if you got the money, come on out." Like trying to get you all signed up real quick. That was why I spoke out so much about that Corey Good stuff that was going on too. I'm like, this is something like, regardless of if what you think about the conspiracy theory side of things or anything else, I consider all of these people whistleblowers in a certain sense. And so um, if if you're a whistleblower, you wouldn't want to silence other people in the same field, regardless. So if you're trying to silence others, that's where you're just doing something wrong. Like, I mean, Corey went out of his way to try to stop other people from publishing information about some of the same topics that he was talking about with words that he didn't come up with. I'm like, you didn't make these words. How you got them copyrighted all of a sudden?
Why are there lights outside? Oh.
$100 for astrology readings, infinite. It's kind of high. It's kind of high for something I can look up on the internet.
I'm not paying that. It's like I don't want to. I don't know. Certain people have certain things. Like for me, it's like I gotta be on location to really get a feel of certain things. Like Montauk, as soon as I touch Montauk, it's like I know what I want. I know what I'm targeting, and not like per se targeting anybody, but trying to find a location.
Like you just switch into a different mode, like you're like objective wise, like you're just man on a mission.
More like ops.
What's that?
More like a ops.
Okay.
More like very like I want to know. I want to figure out exactly where this location is. Because like it's weird. I've had times where I've went up there and me and a couple of friends, and I had a vision of some bunker, and I ended up finding that same bunker.
You showed me a video of a few bunkers that you found. And
well,
one
I
of
found
them,
that one from a dream, 216.
well, and you were telling me that some of them are filled up with like cement at a certain point. Like how does that work? Like what do they do? Do you think they just poured it in there to seal it off, or what?
Something, man. Look, there's so much weird stuff going on out there that it's beyond the understanding of the public, because the public just thinks it's regular work.
Well, that, because you're one of the few people that I've talked to that is convinced that the dish is up and still going.
Well, I'm not convinced in it being up and going, but I definitely am convinced in there's some kind of other possible way of using it. You understand? And why would they replace electric to a building that's falling apart like that after somebody smashed
power source? There is still a power source, even if it's not active. It's weird that they got a power source working. If they wanted.
That's what I'm trying to say. It's like, and if you look at the voltage and you look at how much power is running to one place that's defunct, start to think to yourself, wait a minute, what? You know what I mean? Like, we don't know. Nobody really knows. 2 people went missing there not too long ago.
Was it publicized or not really?
Well, I don't really want to give names or anything. You know probably the one name.
I was just wondering if you saw it.
The one guy you probably know I'm talking about. who I'm talking about.
Oh, I know the person specifically.
Well, from previous conversations and something when I went to New York the last time,
Oh,
and
okay.
I showed you the video.
Okay.
That I located 2 openings that day. He located one area, and the we couldn't figure it out. For some reason, it felt like we got trapped.
Well,
We were going in
told
circles.
me. I was gonna say you told me in that video that you went down to one that you were convinced used to be open, and it had been sealed in like a short period of time. Like they
Yeah,
went back and sealed it recently.
yeah.
Yeah, like that's weird to me that there's constant activity, and then thinking about the people
There's
and
nothing weird about it. It's true. Um, Nobody wants to face the reality of that. Uh, and I understand why, understandably speaking, you know. Um, but look why the lighthouse is getting bigger and it's going out more, and what's happening there now.
are they expanding that too?
It's already been expanded. It's some huge circular right now. Dude, it I believe it might be the 2.0 we're hitting. Um, I definitely believe that they're going to reopen.
If it's not already.
What I mean by reopen is eventually it's no longer going to be a state park and it's going to be owned by the military.
Yo, you think they're gonna kick the public out again?
Yep.
Gotcha. Oh, Infinite. We're on both
I
YouTube.
feel really sorry for young kids in that area.
I hope with everything going on, I hope something like that doesn't work the same way anymore. Because I hope with everything that's been going on recently in the last like what year's new mission seems to be and everything else, I hope people are paying more attention to their kids. They're not leaving their kids
Well,
by
this
themselves as
once
much.
it's a military base, kids can go up there on class trips.
Okay.
You understand? Or go to the lighthouse. Here we go again. We're doing a revamp, right? Lighthouse, split the kid up. Boom, boom, boom. Base, boom. It's open, right? So everything's just basically, in a way, mirror image. It's like you're getting the same thing that happened before happening again. Probably just a little bit more different this time.
I mean, I didn't know. I couldn't imagine this time they would pull people directly, just for the simple fact that it seems like they have the ability to do so much more.
Well, it's, I mean, why the hell not? You know what I mean? Cloning, all kinds of stuff. You know, they could open it up and do stuff like that. You know what I mean?
True.
Where, you know, they grab a kid, they take his DNA, use his DNA, you know what I mean? And create something. You never know. You never know. But I'm not going to really try not to speculate on it. The imagination definitely is driven more, to wondering what it would be like to go back through that type of programming at this time, at its current, where we're in this timeline.
So I was going to tell you, because I talked to you about this, that I told you I thought something was going to go down there. So I put a little more thought into it, and I kind of have a pretty good idea of what and I don't know why I started thinking this. So this is all just totally my opinion. If anybody's wondering, like I didn't have any visions or anything, or I'm not claiming to know the answers. But for some reason, I'm 100% convinced they're trying to rebuild or reinstall the Montauk chair so people can manifest things from other dimensions and bring them into our own.
They are. They are.
I'm thinking we're about to get.
I think it's already happened, Jacob.
Yeah.
Jacob, I think it's already happened. I was told that there's more than one chair.
Well, and I think the technology's gotten better. We had one or two chairs back then, and I think those are probably still around somewhere. But I think
I do know where one of them. I do know where one of them is located, but I don't think it has the capabilities that it used to. I don't know.
Well, yeah, no, I don't think it.
One thing about Preston was he was a genius. Even though he did all those horrible, horrendous things, he was very smart, very smart.
Yeah,
he knew what he was doing. He knew exactly what he was doing.
Well, I think of those overly intelligent people, all kind of act the same way. They're very socially awkward. Sometimes they have major flaws, but they exceed amazingly on one thing. And for some reason, I think Preston's thing. Preston's thing was sound, and his ability to control sound waves.
Yes.
And
but
I don't
he also took part in things that were not, just put it this way, sexual energy. And I mean, there are a lot of people that believe that it definitely, all of that, tied in one, meaning the whole process is like, a way of releasing an energy,
This ties into that new idea of like, I don't even know if I'm allowed to say this on YouTube, the adrenochrome idea. If anybody's ever heard this term, because it involves
well, you have to hype the person up, adrenaline rush, scare the hell out of them.
Yeah,
and then
it's very similar. Like I always try to give people an analogy with it. If you've ever seen Monsters Inc. when you were younger, I think that's very plausible, where they go and harvest the fear or the emotional response from people in some way. That's the best way I could describe it, is they harvest the emotional response, whether it's good, bad, or anything. They just get that adrenaline, like you were saying. Because you get adrenaline when you're scared, you get it when you're excited, you get it in a lot of situations. But I guess it's just about what produces the most and how can you produce it fast. Like you hear.
Ask it implement why if he listens to the Montauk is Strange.
Oh, Infinite Mock probably has never heard of that. He was just asking me to kind of explain what we were talking about with with the chair, because he probably doesn't have enough backstory on that either.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Because me and you know a lot about it, and I mean you know way more than I do about it. But that's just Montauk has just always been one of those topics I have always been interested in, and
it can, because there's so many stories, right? But it's like,
well, and how many of them are tied to
all
the
of
chair?
these real? Yeah, are all of these real? Are is it because at one point in time the satellite was causing nightmares, was causing people to do weird things, so did that do brain damage into, you know what I mean, closer to where we are now?
That's a good question, because I've always wondered if the satellite and the Montauk chair had separate purposes, because I'm pretty sure they do. I don't think they use each other. I think
Yeah, but it was still giving people headaches.
oh no, I think the satellite was strong just by itself. I think it was a weapon all of its own. I think
Would you want to live in Mont? Would you have wanted to live out there?
what I
Well,
want, I
that
wouldn't
was,
want to live in New York. I just wouldn't. I don't like to live in overpopulated places.
you wouldn't want to live in New York?
No, you couldn't pay me to live in New York.
Montauk. Small town, man. You can go live there.
If it's a small town, I would be interested.
Yeah, but with the radar tower, though.
I mean, then again, I don't even know if that's doable. Possibly, if it does actually give you headaches, and it's something you have to get used to, I would feel it out. I would go to the place and see how I felt there.
Oh, dude, every time I go there, it feels like I'm getting zapped with some kind of radiation. I personally don't like going there, unless, like, I'm gonna wear something over my face, or I really, I'm at a point where there's so many people talking about it that, like, I just want to be in the background, kind of, and tell the story, but do it in different ways.
Well, and also you have a new mission and a new objective in front of you. That's not your main objective, is telling about that story. It's helping people now. You've been doing whole different things.
Well, yeah, because I had other traumas as well. But I'm not gonna leave out the possibility of Montauk being a past life. I've had quite a few psychics tell me that I died in the Montauk chair in a past life. And I was brought back through in the Project 2.0. And when I was brought back through in 2.0, I don't know, I ended up in some, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, it's pretty weird how it happens. But it's very well possible.
Because I'm still trying to understand most of the people that are in the 2.0. It's hard for any outsider to look in on and try to understand, but it does involve.
Well, I'm just a soul. I'm just a part of my soul was a part of that. You understand? So it's kind of like a shard. My soul has a shard of that. You get what I'm saying? Because
no, I totally understand it now.
Right.
But then,
other people are going to have a very hard time understanding it, because it's so extraordinary to think about that,
Well, just that alone. And then if you add alters to the equation,
Well,
trying to explain that on top of it,
yeah,
it's really hard.
I think sometimes the altar thing though is taken a little too far, and people are given passes for being very disrespectful. But then if someone else throws a punch, that person needs to heal more than the other person. They get a pass. It's it it, it disgusts me.
Okay.
It disgusts me. You know, if you're a survivor of whatever it is, you know, you deserve respect.
Or it should at least be it should be universal the way people are treated. Everybody's everybody's responsible for their altars, or nobody's responsible for them. It's just got to be the same standard.
Well, you know, I mean, don't get it twisted. I had some issues with some altars, but I put those altars away, and a lot of it feels like a kind of like a spiritual type feeling, where I have some kind of attachment going on, you know, where it's like it's an altar, but it's trying to break loose from my soul,
Gotcha.
kind of. Huh?
I say gotcha, like trying to split off and detach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And hopefully, I managed to, you know, tone them down, is the best way to say it. But it's not like it used to be. It's definitely not like it used to be. It used to be more like terrifying. Huh?
Did they have more power in the past?
Yeah, they had a lot of power. They had the ability to control me at one point. But I think it's a mixture. Um, I think there was some satanic stuff thrown in there, some darkness. So I don't know. And then my altars acting out, and you know, I said some wild shit, or my altar, pardon me, had said some wild stuff, and you know, I figured it out, and I'm not gonna say I'm perfect. I'm not gonna say my altar doesn't tell me to do things. Now it's kind of like, okay, well, shut the hell up, or you know, it's kind of like one of those things. I gotta, you know, stay on top of it.
I get feelings like that. Like I get really weird ones. I always call like I like Joe Rogan's analogy on it. He works out to keep the demons away because he needs like, and I think a lot of young boys need this, especially in their life, is they need to be wore out by the end of the day. They need to be doing something. They need to be active, and they need to be wore out by the end of the day so that they can keep off those demons. Because when you get stir crazy teenagers, that's when bad shit happens.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. Um, that's why I like going to some of these places. You know, you get like Montauk, for instance. You know, you have these young kids. They're, you know, drinking, they're partying. You know, they go up there. You know, it's all a joke, right? But then you got me and you there, right? And we're creeping around. We're getting footage. We're doing what we want to do. The next thing you know, we get spotlights on us because of a bunch of teenage kids. You know what I'm saying? And now we're behind the gate. So now that we're behind the gate, we're in violation. We will be arrested and given a $500 fine, or $1,500, I think.
Just for trespassing over there?
Yep.
Damn. Is it because it's federal or what?
It's owned by the military. The underground is still owned by the government. Still. And it's flooded. No, it's not. I don't know why they would want to hold on to something that's completely flooded out. See, those are the things that I mean that don't make sense to me, that don't add up to me. Why does the military need defunct area?
Good question.
Why is Battery 113 staying together?
Well, yeah, if they were flooded for that long, that stuff would be corroding and taking apart any of the structure itself over time.
No, I'm talking about Battery 113 where they housed the boys.
Oh.
It's very interesting how well kept it is. But also made to look like it's nothing.
Yeah. Well, they want it to stay low key, especially if they are doing something there. But yeah, man, we've been on for about 2 hours and 20 minutes. I think I'm gonna have to wrap it up.
All right, bro.
I appreciate you coming on, though, man. And I'll talk to
You
you
got
soon.
it.
Right?
Yep. You too.
And
Later.
thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I appreciate you guys watching, and yeah, we'll catch you next time.